In this video, we will look at some of the key strategies being used to develop understanding in multiplication and division at 1st to 3rd level, and to provide some ideas on how this learning happening in schools can be supported at home through the use of accessible concrete material and simple images. The use of concrete materials are helpful for children to understand the concepts of multiplication and division. The development of arrays in particular helps children understand what multiplication and division is. Arrays are rectangular arrangements of items. Using counters or small items arranged into array patterns can be very helpful in developing an understanding of multiplication. In this example, we will look at the number 12. An array can be formed using 12 counters or 12 items like so. From this array pattern, we can see we've formed 4 lots of 3, or 4 groups of 3 counters. The 12 counters could also be formed into an array with 3 lots of 4 counters like the image below. This helps develop the concept that 4 times 3 gives the same quantity as 3 times 4. We could also have an array of 2 groups of 6 counters, or 1 group of 12 counters. In these arrays, the numbers we have used have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. These numbers are all the factors of 12. Also, by looking at each of the arrays, we can see that 4 groups of 3 becomes 2 groups of 6. If we half the 4, we get 2, and if we double the 3, we get 6. The same happens when we look at 2 groups of 6, becoming 1 group of 12. If we half the 2, we get 1, and if we double the 6, we get 12. Each of these arrays represent the number 12. This halving and doubling strategy becomes really helpful with more complex calculations. There is no need to have commercially produced counters to make array patterns. Everyday items like pasta shapes are really helpful for children to make really good array patterns. Learners who have worked with concrete materials to create arrays start to use pictorial representations like this. Pictorial representations of arrays like these not only helps with their multiplication and division strategies, but also can help with concepts like area, which children meet later on in their mathematics learning. We sometimes come across special arrays like this one here, where we create a square. Hence the reason why 16 is referred to as a square number. And for some numbers, the number of arrays we can create can be very limited, like the number 11 for example, where we can only make 1 row of 11 or 11 rows of 1. These numbers with only 2 possible arrays are referred to as prime numbers. By looking around our homes and in outdoor spaces, there are really good examples of arrays all around us. Using part whole models is also very helpful when developing multiplication and division strategies. Introducing models with equal parts can help support multiplication and division relationships. In this model, we are showing that 3 sevens make a total of 21. Covering up numbers within the model can help create problems. If we know what the whole is, what number is in each part? A good challenge for learners is providing them with a model and asking them to come up with as many calculations as they can. These concrete and pictorial representations help support understanding in multiplication and division. There are more visuals that help support these types of calculations. Empty number lines can help to develop the concept of multiplication as being a repeated addition. The number line helps with the stations of the tables. The number line also helps with the concept of division being a repeated subtraction. In this example, we can subtract 40 3 times, and we have a remainder of 9. So the answer is 3 remainder 9. When dealing with more complicated calculations like this one, we can use partitioning and arrays to help to solve the problem. In this example, we can partition the 325 into 300, 20 and 5 to multiply each of these parts by 6. The array looks like this. And using this array model, we can do 6 times 300 is 1800, 6 times 20 is 120, and 6 times 5 being equal to 30. Adding the 1800, the 120 and the 30 together, we come to a total of 1950. In some cases, a doubling and halving strategy can be really helpful to simplify the calculation. In this example, we can halve the 4 because it's an even number, but at the same time we must double the 125 to make it 250. 4 times 125 is the same as calculating 2 times 250. We could halve and double again to end up with a calculation of 1 times 500. All of these calculations give the answer 500. Creating a friendly number can help with multiplications like this. As 37 is close to 40, 3 times 40 may be a better approach. But as 3 times 40 is too much, we need to subtract 3 lots of 3. When learners have an understanding of the connections between multiplication and division, array models can also be used for division strategies. In this case, we're looking to divide 98 by 7. Having an understanding of the connection between multiplication and division, learners would know to put 98 inside the array like so, and ask the question 7 times something makes 98, the something being the answer to this question. This question has not been simplified in any way. However, by partitioning up the 98 to a 70 and a 28, we simplify the problem. 70 divided by 7 gives 10, 28 divided by 7 gives 4, so the answer to this problem is 14. In this session, we have looked at some of the key strategies being used to develop understanding in multiplication and division at 1st to 3rd level, and to provide some of the ideas on how this learning happening in schools can be supported at home through the use of accessible concrete material and simple images. Having a variety of strategies that can be used to answer a question helps learners become flexible in their use of number and challenges learners to think of the most efficient way to get to an answer. Correct answers and fluency are the main goal, but a learner's explanation of how they got to their answer reveals how efficient and how they think when presented with number problems. Your child might be involved in number talks in school, where they are presented with number problems and challenged with using different strategies and focus on the one that is most efficient for them. This approach helps to develop a growth mindset. In our next session, we will look at the key strategies being used in school to develop understanding of fractions, decimals and percentages.